Brandon Benefield, Gerard Bonner, and Diana Michelle.
What's up, everybody? It's that time of the week. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's time for your favorite podcast. It's SHW. This is our wrestling. I'm B-Double Brandon Benfield alongside the great Gerard Bonner and the beautiful Diana Michelle. And you guys, I'm still kind of buzzing off of last Friday. SHW63 is now in the books. It kind of kicked off the road to the 6th annual Rumble Jack coming up in August. And so now we kind of know a lot more things heading into the Rumble Jack. We're going to find out a lot more things in the next couple of months leading to the Rumble Jack. But, man, last week was a heck of a show, and we're going to recap that for you guys. But first of all, how's everybody doing? How's your week been so far? Yep, one of those. I'm right there with you. I'm just glad to be here with you guys.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah. Quite the week, but it is always a joy to be here with you guys, which I'm going to hijack the show real quick and just say how proud I am of you two. I am super proud of my V3 family. You guys don't always know, you guys out in wherever land you are, SHW land or wherever you may be. But these two work very, very hard, and they are very well respected in the wrestling community, and watching opportunities that are happening for them is really, really fun to watch. So I just want to publicly say how proud I am of both of you. And, I'll just say this. We've seen this happen in SHW before, where we've had amazing talents that have gone on to do great things on national levels. So I just say, enjoy these two while we got them.
Sir,
Well, hey,
thank you. But we can also flip the script because,
Right.
hello, you are the one that's gone international. Have you not?
You all.
That's true.
Okay. I mean,
That's
we are
not
so
why I
proud of
said
you.
that. I
No,
said
of
it
course
'cause
not. We know that you're genuine, but listen.
Well, thank you
Nice
guys.
to meet you.
Yes.
Don't make me cry.
I appreciate
Like, we're just getting started here. Don't get her going already.
No,
'Cause
don't
if
get
she's-
me on tore up.
She starts, I'll start. It'll be a whole blubbering episode here. But I tell
on
you
the
what,
way to the Rumble Jack.
Yeah, exactly.
On the
That's
way.
how we do it.
I tell you what, GB, I appreciate that wholeheartedly. And of course,
man.
the feeling is reciprocated to you as well, because
Thank you.
very much, likewise. Like everything you
Appreciate it.
just said applies to you
Yeah.
as well. So
Thank you.
I'm telling you, I couldn't do what I do without you guys with me. I couldn't do it.
Well, it's so funny because this era of all of the stories that people are telling in wrestling behind the scenes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, it's just a rare thing where you get people who can be genuinely connected, authentic about what they do, genuinely supporting each other. And it's been like that with us since day one.
Yeah.
And so I'm pumped. I love seeing where we are and all the things that we're getting to accomplish. I realize the fans may not realize it because they may see us in one silo of SHW, but trust me, the three people on your screen, some big, big things are coming. So enjoy them now. Connect with us while you can, folks.
Right.
And of course, we love all you guys for watching, and we
We do.
appreciate you sticking with us and
We do.
all the support we get from you guys. And we'll get to this match at some point here as we preview or recap the card, rather. But Fry Daddy was at this show, and one thing that we talked about was that Fry Daddy, the last time he was at SHW, was the debut of Gerard and Diana.
Yeah.
And it was SHW 15 in December of 2019, which
Wow.
seems like forever ago.
It does.
And on top of that, so that got me reminiscing the other day thinking about
Yeah.
that. And then we're on
It's
the road
almost
to the
40
Rumble Jack.
shows ago. Do you believe that?
I know.
Crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yes,
and then
actually
we got
almost 50 shows ago, because this is 63, right? We just did.
Oh yeah. We're great at math
Oh, no,
over here,
wait,
folks.
40.
Okay,
no,
so yeah.
it was 48 shows ago.
No, wait. No, you're right.
Yeah, 63, 15.
Yeah, 48.
48
So
shows
almost
ago.
Don't make me
Yeah.
think
Did
right
I-
now.
What did I
Friday.
say?
You
What
were
did I
right.
say before? I was okay. I was
She
like,
said
wait,
40. You said 50. I think it's closer
Yeah,
to
close
50.
to 50. Yeah, closer to 50.
And I said we're all great at math over here because I don't know. Yeah. Anyways,
I flunked math, so just so y'all know that.
And I got a math
can count
degree,
on my
go
fingers
figure.
and toes, and that's about it. It's
Which
been
is
a
what
long
you
time,
need.
Okay, we've been
Which
doing
is-
this a while.
yes. what I was going to
This is
say,
awesome.
what I was going to
This is
yes.
awesome.
So I'm reminiscing the other day about you guys first starting and how long you've been here. And then I
Yeah.
start reminiscing about, well, we're almost at the 6th annual Rumble Jack. And right around the
Right.
corner from that will be the anniversary show, Still Here
Mhm.
6. And so it's just crazy to think that 2018 is when we kicked all this off in October of 2018. And
Wow.
here we are, 6
Mhm.
years later, and
Yeah.
so much has happened. We talked about Kevin Ryan, the inaugural champ. There
Yep.
you go, 48.
Yeah.
So almost 50. You said almost 50.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Kevin Ryan being the inaugural champ. He was in the house last week. So
Right.
that had us hearkening back to that first ever show for SHW.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just so much has happened. But anyways, we have so much time in between now and August to get ready for the Rumble Jack. And then, of course,
Yes.
we're going to be doing a whole lot of reminiscing when
Oh,
we get
yes.
there as we approach Still Here 6 in
Mhm.
October. But
Mhm.
man, oh man, let's talk about this show last week. We started off in a hot way with a huge celebration, or what we thought was going to be a huge celebration, turned into an impromptu 6-man tag team match. But the Hierarchy coming out to celebrate their War Chamber victory over the end game at our previous show. And let's just say I was hoping, we said it on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, I was anticipating maybe some cupcakes and some Hennessy. Kenway had some other things in mind, a little bit more
Did.
adult-oriented type things. And
Mhm.
Cupcakes and Hennessy is not adult oriented.
Well,
well,
it
cupcakes.
is.
Yeah,
This was,
unless Cupcakes was the name
and
of
they
the
would probably accompany what he had
Yeah.
in mind.
Cupcakes
So
could have been the name of one of the
you're right.
people that he was expecting to come to the ring. Perhaps.
Well,
I don't
and
know.
maybe even Hennessy. Who
And
knows?
maybe
Okay,
yeah, that's his
but
name.
listen,
Maybe
the way
that's
that
how
all
he
unfolded,
interpreted that.
I mean,
You
You
you thought
misunderstood.
cupcakes and Hennessy literally. He thought
He's like, oh, I know Cupcakes and Hennessy. Yeah.
I know who they are.
They work at Gary's club. Yeah.
like he said that Joe liked blondes and Murder liked Latinas and
Yeah.
and he liked the big girls, and then a blonde
Oh boy.
came out.
Oh,
Oh yeah. But it wasn't the
oh
I
wow.
was like, wait a minute, is this it?
Wow.
I don't think that's the
I didn't get. Wow.
I don't think that was the entertainment, the
I
Hierarchy
was
we're
like, if that's
expecting.
what Gary's got in his club, we need to not go.
Mm-mm.
Oh, by the way, can we rewind real quick? First of all, Kenway telling the whole audience here that Gary has a club in town. I had no idea about this. Did you guys?
No idea. I don't.
I'm not
No.
surprised, but no, I did not.
No, not really. But
He
I just
doesn't
didn't know.
exactly advertise that amongst all
No.
of his businesses. He talks about his events and you
Yeah.
know, but yeah.
Who knew?
knew?
Apparently,
Flagship project stuff, you never know what's going on.
Apparently the
Yeah,
hierarchy knew.
yeah, I was gonna say apparently Kenway knew, the Hierarchy knew, but so they were anticipating some entertainment coming out. I was reminiscing back to the late 90s, watching WWE Raw, WWF Raw back in the day, and The Godfather coming out. That's kind of where my mind went and thought, is that what's about to happen here? And then we hear the music of Alexander Lev and his faithful followers. And they came to interrupt the festivities, as it were. And
No offense to
Troopers.
Rob, no offense to Rob at all, but Lev is an absolute killjoy. And if indeed you thought that there was certain entertainment coming, all entertainment went out the window when Lev and his faithful showed up.
Every single bit.
Oh man.
And so what was crazy was then, I don't know what their goal was. They came out there, and then Murder One said, let's just settle this in the ring. He kind of pitched the idea of having a 6-man tag match right then and there.
Yeah.
And then Lev was like, no, wait a second. No, we're not booked to work tonight. And then they tried to leave. But you know who's always watching?
Uh-huh.
He might not be in the building, but he's always watching.
Mhm.
He's always
That would
got
be-
that hand into
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Brandon Benefield.
That would be the
Yeah.
matchmaker, Jake the
Yeah.
Snake Roberts,
Mhm.
who now that last month we had a guest matchmaker with Paul Walter Hauser, but now
Yeah.
that Paul Walter Hauser's back on the set and he's back working, making movies, Jake the Snake reclaimed his role as matchmaker. And of course he was keeping tabs that night and shot me a text right away because it was quick. Murder One had just came up with the suggestion.
Yeah.
And of course, right when Lev tried to leave, Jake the Snake said, no, I like that idea. 6-man tag. In
I
fact,
like how you just kind of blocked him from the stairs and snatched that microphone out of his hand. That was
you
good.
know, he was trying to leave. I had to catch him. When the boss man, speaks on the text, I gotta move
move.
fast.
Yeah.
So Anyways, then
Yeah.
we ended up with an impromptu 6-man tag team match. How did we feel about that? It was exciting because we weren't expecting it,
Right.
and it's always fun
I
to.
wasn't expecting. I was
Yeah.
thrilled. Thrilled. I mean, what was the purpose of them coming out? Actually, I mean, what do we know? Do we have any kind of idea, thoughts? Why do they even come out to interrupt?
Is he
I don't
always
think they
trying to?
like parties.
Well,
I
there's
don't think they
that,
like parties at
and I don't know
all.
if he's always trying to recruit. Perhaps I don't know
Mm.
what is.
Recruit from the hierarchy?
I don't know.
Boy,
He's young, you know. He just,
yeah.
you know.
I mean,
There's-
does he not know everybody knows his old spiel? I am faithful. Does he not know?
He was
that?
also trying to take this 2-finger salute
He was.
and force the new 2-finger salute
He was
on the crowd there in Canton, which I don't think went
That
over too well.
happened. No,
Didn't.
Yeah.
Didn't.
it was a nice beatdown.
Yeah. You know, to me, and we were on commentary seeing this, the look on the face of Joe Black.
Yeah.
When Lev kept interrupting and then Lev kept antagonizing. Now, what I will say is this: we've been around long enough to know there are just certain things you don't ever want to do. And one of them is you don't want to ever cross the hierarchy, especially Joe Black.
Mm-hmm.
Lev either didn't get the memo or didn't care, because him and his faithful, they kept forging ahead. It was just like, I don't know if they drank some Kool-Aid before, if they
Maybe
had
they
liquid
got into
courage.
the Hennessy. Maybe that's what
Maybe
happened
they
to the Hennessy.
did. Maybe they did. You have to be drinking something to challenge the hierarchy. You just have to, especially after they won the War Chamber. Like, nobody's touching them.
Yeah.
But, Lev and the faithful, they did what they could. But Joe Black was unleashed. And the rest, as they say, is history. Big win for the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Broken back.
Now I may go a little out of order here,
Yeah,
so
it's all right.
forgive me, but I'm going just kind of by memory. So Diana, you may correct me if I'm a little off on my order.
I have my sheet.
So was the did we get the promo from that no good Zach Mosley? Was that next? Yeah. So we saw a video promo. First of all, let me just rewind real quick. Last month, they jumped Gary Lamb,
Mm.
Zach Mosley, Cornelius Pepperbottom. Here I am thinking we can put all this nonsense with Exotic Youth behind us. We're done with Exotic Youth. The tag team champions are officially the Grapplers. And, I went through the issue I went with at the end of January with these guys. I'm finally healed up from that. And I'm thinking, you know what? Once and for all, we're done with these guys. I don't have to see them anymore. They won't be part of SHW anymore. They show up last month. They jump Gary Lamb. And I'm thinking, why are they back? What are they doing here? What are they trying to prove? What's going on? And then we get this video message from Zach Mosley the other night, directed at Gary Lamb, and basically demanding, he wants a shot at the title. He says, but I'll even go through the Rumblejack to get to it. But I'm demanding an opportunity. I'm demanding a spot in the Rumblejack. What do we make of this? I'm so over it. And I have to be careful what I say, because I don't want to get canceled or anything crazy. So I have to watch my mouth when I talk about these punks. But what do we?
I don't know if
what do we
it's
think?
worth the Rumblejack, or if he just wants a shot at the title, just put him in the ring with Judas.
Yeah, let
What's the
Judas
best-
handle it.
Yeah,
Right.
just let him handle it. And then if
That's a
Pep wants to
great
jump in
idea.
there, let him do it too. I mean, which one's the best? I mean, I think
Yeah.
Gary was generous. Like he said, he's a generous guy. And he gave them spots in the Rumblejack. So he's letting them have a chance. But and number two,
Yeah.
that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a very big deal. There's only a handful of people who've ever come from the number 1 or number 2 spot. Gunnar Miller is one that comes to mind. And I say this respectfully, they are not Gunnar Miller. They're not. With that said, this is the first time that I've had a chance to see Zach Mosley speak on his own. Normally, it's Pepperbottom. Normally, it's Bryce Cannon. But Zach, all alone, rather intimidating. Like, I just was, Wow. He very intimidating, and he was direct with Gary. He probably should have been a bit more specific. Getting access to the Rumble Jack, in theory, sounds great. Being put at number 1 or 2, oh, that's great punishment. And apparently, Gary Lamb would tell us that Pepper Bottom and Mosley have to fight each other during the Rumble Jack, or they will be fired. They'll be gone. They will not have an opportunity to work in this company. So you guys, I know you'll be excited to see them having to fight each other.
Well, that's what kind of talked me off the ledge a little bit, because GB knew I was a little livid there for a second when Gary went ahead and gave them this opportunity. I'm like, are you kidding? He even asked, he's like, Brandon, what should I do? And I'm like, no, absolutely not. And the crowd was behind me. They're booing. They're like, they don't want to see it either. But then when he came up with that stipulation, they're 1 and 2, and they have to fight each other or else they're gone for good.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, I can be okay with that. I can be okay with that.
So that'll be very interesting to watch come Rumble Jack. But there's also a part of me that kind of wonders what depths would Mosley have gone to had he not gotten entrance into the Rumble Jack.
Well, you heard how he ended his promo.
Yeah, it was pretty fiery, pretty direct.
Blank around and find out is what he told Gary. So who knows what he would have done, but what he's going to do is enter at number 1.
That's what we know.
Pep enters at number 2, and they have to fight each other. So,
ooh, and I usually start the Rumble Jack in the ring with 1 and 2, don't I?
You do.
So maybe you could get a few licks in early on, and I don't know.
We'll just get to call them opposed to each other. That'll be fun.
That'll be a lot.
That'll be fun.
Oh, no telling. No telling. What was next after that, Diana?
Nick Halen versus Kevin Ryan.
That's right. Rumble Jack qualifier. So, of course, as I mentioned, we're on the road to the Rumble Jack, which means Rumble Jack qualifier matches. We knew we were going to have a few on this show. We had 3, as a matter of fact. This was the first of 3. Nick Halen of the Endgame, former co-Georgia Wrestler of the Year. Shout out AC Mac. Look at GB's shirt there, rocking it. And he was taking on
a weekend too before the wedding.
Yeah, we're like the weekend before.
1 week?
Like next week, I believe. I believe so.
Shout out AC and Rico.
Rico,
congratulations.
Happy for you guys.
Of course, Nick Halen taking on the inaugural SHW champion, Kevin Ryan. We talked about this during the show, whether we were talking about Kevin Ryan, whether we were talking about Fry Daddy. When it's Rumble Jack season, they come from all over the place. They return. They show up. We see people we've never seen before. We see guys we haven't seen in a long time. In this case, Kevin Ryan showed up and really gave Nick Halen a run for his money here. And of course he would. I don't think anybody was surprised in the building. He's a former Southern Honor champion, the first Southern Honor champion, a very formidable tag team along with Jordan Kingsley, as not yet rated, as they vied for the inaugural tag team championships at one point in Southern Honor. And so what a match it was. It was fun to see Kevin Ryan showing some of those high-flying ways that we used to see back in the day. And so it was good to see old Kevin Ryan come out in front of the SHW crowd. It was a fun match, but of course it went Nick Halen's way. But our thoughts on this Rumble Jack qualifier?
No, it was a great match. I mean, I didn't really know what to expect, but I knew Kevin had been putting in work. I knew he had been doing his thing, elsewhere. And for him to come back and face Nick Halen, I mean, I was just, I don't know what to think. But like you said, this was the Kevin of old, and he was not holding back, and he was exciting, and he was getting the crowd pumping. I mean, it was refreshing because he hadn't always been that way. I mean, he went through this lull when he was in the tag team, not yet rated, and then they kind of split, and it was just like a whatever, kind of a mid-card match maybe. And now he's just, it's like, it's exciting and to see what he can, actually do and not, his full potential it was good to me. I enjoyed it. I would like to see him back, even though he didn't win this match and make it into the Rumble Jack. I would not be mad if they put him in the ring. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm with you. I really enjoyed this match. Again, it was refreshing to see what he's doing and how he has matured. And just all of the experiences that he's brought back to this match, which you need against a former wrestler of the year. I
Right.
mean, this was a really tough match. And it was amazing to see what Kevin Ryan was able to do. Kudos to him. Would love to see him back. And it's interesting because you guys may or may not have heard it on commentary, but for whatever reason, Nick Halen felt the need to come over and tell us how much he hates us. And we're trying to do our jobs. So, yeah, Nick Halen has found his way into the Rumble Jack. And, we've got to find out ultimately what the end game will be doing in the Rumble Jack. Are they there to potentially protect the champion? Or are they there to perhaps spell out their own opportunities to become champion? Time will tell.
Yeah. And of course, let's not forget anytime we mention Nick Halen, former co-wrestler of the year.
That is correct.
I will not give him full credit. I will not give him full credit.
That is correct.
Shout out AC Mac again. Anyways, moving on. Is that when we heard from Gary after that one?
Yeah.
So Gary, which we already kind of talked about, we touched on that. He was basically responding to Zach Mosley's video that came in. And of course, like we mentioned, now placing 2/3 of Exotic Youth into the Rumble Jack at the 1 and 2 spot where they must face off against each other. What came next, Diana?
The Rumble Jack qualifier for Mr. Zach Buchanan versus Sal Rinauro.
There you go. So Zach Buchanan, a gentleman who debuted at last year's Rumble Jack, made his way back to Southern Honor for another opportunity at this year's big event, taking on the veteran Sal Rinauro, who I believe, GB, you talked about on commentary, has been wrestling longer than Zach Buchanan has been alive.
That's
and so
wild.
Sal Rinauro has faced off decades of the Buchanans. He fought Bull back in the day. He's fought Ben Buchanan. And now, to our knowledge, I'm pretty sure this was his first time facing Zach Buchanan. And this was an interesting qualifier because we had found out ahead of time that per Sal's contract with Southern Honor, he's already a shoo-in. He's already in the Rumble Jack. But he was going to give this young up-and-comer an opportunity. If Zach could beat Sal, then Zach would qualify for the Rumble Jack. And, well, turns out that's exactly what Zach did. And I think it shocked a lot of people. Now, maybe nobody more so than Sal. But it was a heck of a fight. And Zach, man, he looked good. And I know we mentioned this before, but, man, you talk about looking like Ben Buchanan, just a different hairstyle, but they got the same build, some of the same moves. Like it's crazy how much they look alike. And of course it makes sense. They're brothers, but the younger brother here really showing up and showing out against Sal Rinauro. And I can't wait to see what he can do in the Rumble Jack this year. I mentioned on commentary, I flashed back to a few years ago when Ben Buchanan eliminated Judias from the Rumble Jack at one point. And could we see something crazy with Zach Buchanan eliminating some big bad dude? Who knows what might happen? The Rumble Jack is one of the most unpredictable nights, so we shall see. But what a fun and kind of crazy match this was. It wasn't that like either one of them really had the upper hand the whole time. So when Zach won it, it shouldn't have really been that shocking. But I think a lot of people were shocked because it would be kind of considered an upset. You have this guy who's only got a handful of matches under his belt, taking on this veteran in Sal Rinauro. And I think it kind of took a lot of people by surprise.
Well, I think we mentioned on the pre-show, Sal is on this losing streak. And we don't really know what Sal we're going to get. I feel like this Sal we had this night was a more serious, in-tuned, and focused Sal, if that is a thing. Or at least he knew what the outcome he wanted. He didn't get it, but I think he knew. And I believe that he was even shocked. Did you say he was shocked? I think you made it, but I think he was even shocked at the outcome of this match. I heard, I don't know if you guys can hear with your headphones when what's going on around, but as he was making his way out of the arena, he was talking to himself.
Yeah, he was.
And about how this can't happen. This can't happen again, or this has got to stop. And I'm like, oh, he's coming into a realization that he is losing every month, and something's got to change if he's going to, progress. And I mean, he's been around forever and a day. I mean, he's faced people that we would have never dreamed, matches that I would be shocked to see now if he were, if I were able to go back and see from his past. But Sal's amazing. Sal is a very, very rich talent. And just this whole match, I mean, Zach was amazing in just his youth, but I don't know. I think I'm seeing Sal kind of come into a focus and see something's got to change. Maybe not completely focus. He's still crazy as hell.
Hey,
but something's got to change.
Now's a good time.
That.
Yeah, now's a good time because he's already got a spot in the Rumble Jag, and so
right.
Anytime to start
and
who
focusing. Who knows who's going to show up there? Who knows who he's going to face there? Who knows?
Yeah, it's really wild to see, and it's crazy because it feels like the only way Sal would have gotten into the Rumble Jack is to be grandfathered in at this point.
Right.
Because his record is not one that reflects him going into the Rumble Jack. And if this qualifier had been like the other qualifiers, he would not be in the Rumble Jack. So this is interesting. It's actually concerning because the desperation on the face of Sal Rinauro right now, he's asking himself, what do I have to do differently? He's got to do something severely different. He does not want to go into this Rumble Jack on this losing streak like this. He's going to have to figure something different out, or else being grandfathered in will be a wasted opportunity. And if it's a wasted opportunity, what will he do? He's not been the same since they've lost the tag team titles. He's not been the same. And so, he's lost an awful lot. You've got to wonder what's next. The flip side is this is a great opportunity for Zach Buchanan to really make a name for himself. He's seen what his brother has done. He's seen what his father has done. He had a taste of it himself last year. What happens this year when he goes in? Could he be one of the final four? Could he be the final two? Could he win it all? What an upset that would be. Anything's possible in this Rumble Jack, as we've seen over the years. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But congratulations to Zach Buchanan on his way to the Rumble Jack.
Absolutely. And of course, before we head on to the next match, we heard from one Jaden Newman, another video promo heading into the Rumble Jack, kind of calling out his spot, saying he's going to enter the big match come August. And a bit of a different side of Jaden Newman than we saw a couple of months ago when we saw him at we were joined by Matt Griffin on commentary.
Yeah.
And saw that Jaden Newman match. He's an incredible athlete. We've seen him, in the past, and of course, just a couple months ago. And but I tell you what, or not a couple months ago, I guess it was the War Chamber night, right? So previous show. Yeah, that's right, with Kyle. Yeah,
that's right.
So here's the thing that a lot of people might not realize. In other circles, he's a part of the Coven of the Goat, along with Nathan Mowry and Tank and the Reverend. And
I was gathering that together, but I wasn't quite sure.
So this video promo that aired the other night kind of gave me that vibe. And so I don't know.
Yeah,
it did.
And we don't know yet, but I have a feeling, we've seen Nathan Mowry in all of the previous Rumble Jacks. We've seen Tank appear in a Rumble Jack. Who knows what might happen if all these guys are together inside the Rumble Jack. Maybe they all get together and whoop up on Exotic Youth. I wouldn't mind that. But we'll see.
Wow.
Are they taking requests? Because
I might be. I'm not against bribing a few guys to get in there and just really give it to these guys.
Yeah, those cupcakes and Hennessy.
That's right. I got community cakes and community Hennessy for all the boys in the back.
That could be expensive. You might want to hit it back.
You do know someone's going to probably clip that and take you up on it.
You know what? if it means that they whoop up on Mosley and Pepper Bottom, fine. Clip away, folks. Clip away.
Shots. $2 shots.
But what do we make of this this Jaden Newman promo? I mean, just a completely different side than what we were used to.
Yeah, it kind of confused me, but now that you say Coven of the Goat, I understand. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, they did. He didn't specify that, but just knowing, and I know a lot of the fans, not all fans, but a lot of fans keep up with some of the other spaces, and in other spaces they run together. So I don't know if that's what.
Of course, a lot of people, when they have blood streaming down their face, if you don't know who they are, you wouldn't know who they are. But
true.
Maybe that's the case. Maybe I did see him and I didn't recognize him. I don't know.
True,
could be.
But yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very gifted competitor who has won championships everywhere he's gone. Him entering himself into the Rumble Jack is something that should concern a lot of people because we saw what he did against Kyle Matthews, and
Mhm.
this guy can go. He can get it done. We've seen him in the past, I believe, against Carly Bravo,
Yep.
another great match that we saw. Jaden Newman is somebody we need to be paying attention to.
I agree.
And, you know, down the road in a couple of weeks, I'm sure we'll have our full Rumble Jack preview when we have an idea of more of the stars that are in there. But you've got to consider of the early people who have declared that they will be in the Rumble Jack, he's somebody to watch out for.
Oh yeah.
He's somebody who could make it to the end, the endurance that you need, and then to be able to switch from that Rumble part to the lumberjack part.
Mhm.
He's the guy. So
Yeah.
he's an early favorite. I'll just say that.
Yeah. Coming up next, we had one of our championship matches. Of course, we had 3 title matches on the night,
Mhm.
and one of them was for the SHW tag team titles, where the grapplers defended against Fluff and Stage, or Fluff Stash, or I don't know what people might come up with, or Fluffman in the ring even say, well, we don't have a name, but by the end of the night, we will have a name and you'll call us the SHW tag team champions.
Mhm.
However, did not quite go that way, but this turned out to be one of the more confusing matches of the nights, at least for Gerard and I, as it pertained to commentary, because grappler number 1 comes out in an arm sling, and so it looks like it's going to be grappler 2 and Xander Seabolt, aka grappler 3, that we're going to be defending. But then apparently, as I'm being distracted by chainmail on the outside, GB caught a glimpse of 1 and 2 switching the arm sling and switching
Not
spots
only
in the
switching the
ring.
arm sling, but switching the arm.
Right.
Well, there you go. Yeah,
Mhm.
see, another thing I
Mhm.
didn't catch.
Yeah.
It was very chaotic, and our
It was
official,
chaotic.
I felt bad for the official trying to keep track of all of it. But yeah, I mean, it becomes a numbers game. I mean, it's basically 3-on-2. If you count chainmail, it's 4-on-2.
Mhm.
Right.
Chainmail's doing the distracting on the outside while the shenanigans are happening in the opposite corner. And I mean, Fluff and Stage, what a great team they made. And had they had more of a fair shot, I think we'd be talking about brand new tag team champions here. But one thing that we did get to see was a unique version of the steamroller,
Mhm.
where
Yeah.
Dave Stage cranked him up. He started it,
Yeah.
and then he steamrolled. It might have been, was
Xander.
it Seabolt? Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
into the corner,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then snap-married him back into the center of the ring and proceeded to steamroll him some more.
Yes.
And he was rolling,
Yes, he
and it was
was.
pretty good.
That
Pretty
is
good.
so funny. That is so funny.
Yeah.
Gosh, Body Positive, Cody Fluffman, and the mustachioed muscle man, Dave Stage.
Mm.
That's a tag. That's a tag team by itself. I mean,
Yeah.
it is. I enjoyed them. I thought it was great. I have a little bit of footage that I'm not shared, but since it's already out, y'all can go watch it. Either way, I love this match. I do. Now I will say, this tag team title reign has probably been the most controversial reign of all time when it
Mhm.
comes to Southern Honor Championships.
I
I
think
mean,
so.
even back to when Brooklyn was calling the shots and firing people over the phones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is probably the most controversial. And they've only been tag champions for what, 3 months?
Yeah, not even
Officially.
77
Not even
days
very
as
much.
of today. Mhm.
Yeah. So it's like, what is going on here? Are they good guys or bad guys? Are they
We
I
talked
don't-
about this on the pre-show,
I'm-
and I feel like either it was on the pre-show or it might have been during the match. GB and I
Mhm.
talked about it, where I feel like it's out of spite for Exotic Youth.
Mhm.
The fans were cheering for the grapplers,
Right.
but the
Yeah.
grapplers still use dirty tactics and underhanded
Mhm.
tactics, and it's
Yes.
kind of like the enemy of my enemy is my friend situation, where it's like,
Mhm.
well, when they're against Exotic Youth, I'm all for the grapplers.
Right.
So are they being
Otherwise,
scary? Or they like being dirty? But I mean,
It's
I'm
all
just confused.
yeah. It's interesting because even if you go back to the match that started all of the tag team title controversy, that fatal 4-way or tag team scramble or whatever it was, they
Right.
were not cheered in that match.
Nobody
Uh,
knows who they were.
Yeah, well, and
Really?
they weren't happy about them, and then they ended up winning the tag titles to find out it really wasn't them.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's a wild journey with the grapplers where we're not sure of where we should support or how we should feel. And we're not sure if they've mended fences with Gary or not. I don't know, but they are certainly creating enough controversy on their own where the Gary piece may or may not become an issue. But we also cannot forget that even though they had a 4-on-2 advantage, they still needed help. And that
Right.
was help coming from, of all people, Lev's Faithful, who, I mean, after the beatdown they had just gotten a few matches ago, I thought they would have,
Bloodied.
yeah, I thought they would have licked their wounds, maybe gone out to get some, I don't know, since they're faithful, they might have gotten some water or some sparkling grape juice or something, and spent some time doing that. But instead, they're back for more trouble, continuing to create problems and havoc for Fluffman. They cost Fluffman the Jake the Snake Championship back at the War Chamber event, and now they're costing him the tag titles. This is going to come to a head at some point because they have really created problems for Fluffman, and they did it again here at SHW63.
Yeah, and luckily for Fluff and Dave Stage, Murder One and Joe Black come out to make the save.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the very end of that whole situation, the grapplers sneak back in the ring and look like they're about to hit Murder One and Joe Black with those tag title belts until they got caught. And then they played it off like, oh, no, we were just coming to shake hands or something. You know, they were pretending like they weren't about to do that when it sure did look like they were about to.
Did.
Talk about mistakes to be made.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So a lot of chaos there involved in the whole tag team division, really. Like, I don't know what to make of it. But we do know
But
that
you
the
know what?
grapplers.
We have a tag team division. Can I just say that?
That's,
There you
you know
go.
what? This is how I know we're connected because I thought that and then you said it. It's what happens with us, man.
There you
I
go.
love it.
Happens
I
on
love it.
commentary all the time.
All the time. Oh my gosh.
But there you go. So the night ended as the grapplers still the SHW tag team champions. Of course, then we see another Rumblejack promo, this time
Mhm.
from Darian Bankston, who
Mhm.
Darian Bankston had a heck of a match at the last show against Rob Killjoy,
Mhm.
where during that match, he comes out, gets a good reception from the crowd, and somewhere during the match kind of flipped a switch. And we even
Yeah.
commented on it during the match,
Yeah.
where all of a sudden he starts kind of getting into it with the crowd and trying to show up Rob Killjoy a little bit, kind of a different side than we're used to seeing from Mr. Bankston.
Right.
But in this promo, where he's, wanting a spot in the Rumblejack, I feel like he realized his mistake. And I mean, what was your takeaway there, GB, from that promo? It seemed like he had kind of seen the error of his ways and
Yeah.
really wants to kind of make good on it and come back and impress in the Rumblejack.
You know what I really enjoyed about that was he realized that he wasn't himself. He realized that, and that happens sometimes, you finally get to the stage you want to be at. And when you get there, you just kind of lose yourself. It's one of those things you wanted to do it so bad, but then you got there and you got stage fright or the moment got you and you wish you could have
Desperate.
done things differently. Absolutely. And so what I appreciate is his willingness to say, you know what? I didn't go about this the right way. Let me get another shot and show you guys who Darian Bankston really is. And he'll do that in the Rumblejack. I think there's always a place, or at least there should be, for people to be able to realize the error of their ways and make a change. And so I applaud Darian Bankston. It certainly wasn't reflective of what we had known of Darian Bankston for the time that we have seen him. So I'm glad he had that moment, and the real Darian Bankston will indeed stand up at Rumblejack.
Look, I love Darian Bankston. I don't care what he's doing. I don't care if it's good, bad, ugly, whatever. There
Well-
is room on the Bad Boys team for Mr. Darian Bankston.
And
I was about
there
to
it
say, we know
is.
how you are with the Bad Boys. Huh?
Yes, we do.
I mean, I'm respect. I'm good. Whatever he wants to, if he wants to, see the error of his ways and be nice and do whatever. If he wants to be bad and whatever. I'm a Darian Bankston fan. He can be another one of my Bad Boys. I'm good. whatever, I'm for it. Go, Darian Bankson, go.
By the way, have we seen the new Bad Boys yet?
Oh, I have not seen
this
it yet.
weekend, I have plans.
I've seen it twice. It's great.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was great. Yeah.
Wow.
Let's go check it
Okay.
When
out.
did you have time?
I make time.
He there it is. He finds ways. Now, the real question we should ask is, if he saw it twice, did he see it twice?
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
alone?
whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, that's nobody's business.
Look
Nobody's
at
business.
Hey,
That's
what's
always
going on
the
here? Right.
question.
Anyways,
Right,
it's
right.
good. It's a good flick. Anyways,
Did you
Right,
share
right.
the popcorn or
If
did
you-
you hug the popcorn?
if you like the other
Mhm.
ones, you'll like this one. I'll just put it
That's
that
where
way.
the cupcakes and
Oh, I
Hennessy
love this.
came in.
Yeah, I'm good.
There it is.
I had to bring my
There
own.
it
They
is.
don't sell it at the theater, so I had to bring my own.
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Mhm.
Yeah, she brought her big purse. So,
There it is. Well, there you go.
anyways,
There you go.
That's
moving
the only
on.
way to go.
Yes.
Moving on. What do we got next?
Oh.
Diana, what was it? Oh, CT Keys, right? Fried
Yeah,
Daddy.
CT Keys and Fry Daddy.
Woo.
There you
Rumble
go.
Jack qualifier.
Yes.
This one cooked.
It
I
did.
dare say.
It did.
But man, we knew it was going to be good. We knew it was going to be good, and we talked about this on the pre-show. We talked about it during the match. A lot of people may not, a lot of the newer fans, especially at Southern Honor,
Yeah.
may not really be that familiar with Fry Daddy.
Mhm.
Again, as I mentioned earlier in this podcast, the last time he was there was December of 2019, the night you guys debuted at SHW 15, which was 48 shows ago. We figured that out.
Yes, it was.
And so it's been a while. But the thing is,
Uh,
the fans might not realize it, but we knew CT Keys knows who Fry Daddy is.
yes.
CT's been around a long time. Fry Daddy's been around a long time around the Southeast, especially around the state of Georgia. And so, yeah, we knew CT Keys knew that Fry Daddy was going to be no pushover. And Fry Daddy put up a heck of a fight, I'm telling you. And was this close
Mm-hmm.
on multiple occasions to move it on to the Rumble Jack. But, man, what a match it was. And, again, don't forget about that numbers game whenever the end game is involved. And even if they do get ejected from ringside, during the match.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a point where, well, I mean, you saw it was right before Nick Halen and Todd Sexton got ejected, where we
Yeah.
thought the referee counted 3, the bell
Mhm.
rang, then the referee changed the decision, and then of
Yeah.
course CT would go on and win the match eventually anyway. But
I think that spoke to just how determined Fry Daddy was. He got
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
shoulder up, but that hand was coming down. And
Yeah.
again, like we
tough.
said about Darian Bankston, I appreciate when people realize their errors and they look to correct them. And that's what the referee did in that moment, which gave Fry Daddy another opportunity to qualify for the Rumble Jack, though CT Keys would not let that last very long.
And I imagine it just kind of messed with the cadence of things too. Once you thought the
Mhm.
match was over, and then you had to just get back into, the mode of trying to survive the match, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we all know CT Keys has something to prove, not only to us, to everybody else, to himself. After that crazy match with him and Gunner, there was some stiff hits, man. There was some crazy stiff hits.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I questioned a few. I mean, it kind of like CT versus, what was that guy, Larry?
We don't need to talk about it, but yeah, it went viral.
That guy.
It went
That,
viral.
it kind of felt a little bit like that, but Fry Daddy wasn't quite that opponent.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's been a minute since I've announced Fry. And announcers, commentators, as we do, we have other colleagues that we can talk to, and
Mhm.
and I called Cheyenne. Cheyenne deals with Fry a lot down in Wrestle America, and I was like, yeah, it's been a minute. Is there anything new that I need to know? And
Yeah.
when she told me, everything, I was like, oh, this is exactly the same as it was 5 years ago.
Wow.
So I got the same Fry Daddy, but I got the same Fry Daddy, but better. It was like Fry Daddy 2.0 because he was killing it.
Yeah.
He had some monster shots. I
Mhm.
mean, they were back and forth. It was like, it's almost if he, hold on,
Wait.
CT Keys, okay, Fry, Joe Black, all in the ring together.
Ooh.
Could you imagine the chop fest? Could you imagine? That hurts me just thinking about it.
Me
But that's
too.
what
Mhm.
somebody
Mm.
make that happen. Just make that
Yeah.
happen.
Wow.
That was an amazing match. So done. I'm done. You
I'm
know.
here for it.
Holy crap. Could you imagine?
Oof.
Wow.
Let me write that
I'm
down.
here.
I need to write that down.
I love it when those ideas come to you.
The dream match. Do we do the dream match thing again? I want
Yeah.
that. Oh my God.
That's the one.
That's the one. Awesome.
Man, oh man. But then, like I said, you got the end games out there. So after the match is over, Todd Sexton, of course, has to get on the microphone, has to let his voice be heard. But one thing
was
he
it
mentioned,
bright in the arena that night because everybody was wearing shades?
Well, I think he didn't want anybody to see his eyes because he had been crying from such embarrassment after tapping out at War Chamber. And we still aren't really sure of how cool the end game really is with all this.
Right.
Like normally Todd Sexton wears white or something like he was in all black like it was his funeral. You know, he was in shades like he had been crying. And I'm sure he's had to do some things to really try to get in the good graces of the end game because they've got to be embarrassed after what happened at War Chamber.
well, one thing he mentioned after the match that kind of threw both of us for a loop a little bit. We've always been under the impression that if you go on to win the Rumble Jack, you get a shot at the Southern Honor Championship.
Right.
He made it sound like, of course, he mentioned, and we already knew this because they won their respective matches, but he mentioned again that Nick Halen and CT Keys were both going on to the Rumble Jack. One of them would be winning it. And he said, but they won't be going after Judas and his title. They could go after the Jake the Snake Legacy title. They could go after the tag team championships. And then we were questioning each other like, well, wait a second. I've never heard this before. We'll have to check with management. Now, I've not had a chance to check with management, but I am curious about that statement. Now, Todd Sexton, having been a former official at SHW, would know some of the ongoings behind the scenes and know some of the rules like that. I never heard that before. I've been there almost 6 years. And so if that is the case, that the winner could pick the Jake the Snake title opportunity or the tag title opportunity, I'm unaware. And I'll have to do some digging there and hopefully find that out and let you guys know in the weeks to come. But, I mean, weren't you a little bit confused by that too, GB? Because I definitely was like, wait, what?
Yeah, that was certainly breaking news, but it also says to me that would be why CT Keys and or Nick Halen would work hard to win it. It wouldn't just be to keep others away from Judas, but it would be to add more gold to the end game.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. And the thing is, those guys with all the gold, a real problem.
Yeah, they're already a problem. And they just have one of the titles.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
Well, maybe that was an unspoken rule that nobody really even thought about because, I mean, honestly, the Jake the Snake Legacy title is barely a year old.
Yeah.
Right? So nobody would have even thought to win the Rumble Jack and go for that one.
It's true.
Or we didn't have any tag teams. So nobody would have thought to team up and go get the tag title. So maybe it was something in the cause. I don't know. But yeah, nobody wants in-game having all the gold.
No.
But this would be a way for him to work this out, to be a way for him to redeem himself, maybe.
It would be. It totally would be.
Well, following that, we saw an amazing, speaking of the JTS Legacy title, an amazing Fatal 4-Way match for that very title. And I will emphasize the name of the title once again, the Jake the Snake Legacy Championship, despite what the current title holder wants you to think. Despite whatever bumper sticker he wants to slap on and deface the belt. Of course, I'm talking about Hunter James, Hollywood Hunter James, who is claiming that it's now the Hunter James Legacy Championship. He even put it, like I said, you'll see it go back on IWTV and watch it. You'll see he put like a bumper sticker or something over the top of the belt, but I mean, give me a break. But anyways, it was Hunter James, Rob Killjoy, the Wall Tyler Stevens, and Kyle Matthews. And what a match this was. So many back and forth, so many near falls, especially for the ugly duckling Rob Killjoy. Numerous times throughout this match, I thought, oh my goodness, this is his night. He's going to win singles gold here in SHW for the first time. The crowd was feeling it. They were also feeling it for Kyle Matthews. And there were times that both of them were going back and forth, and it was kind of a 50-50 split. Like, I think the fans will be happy either way. But it's anybody's game. Like it was man, oh man, what a match it was. It was a lot of fun to call. Hard to keep up
Yes.
with at certain times because of all the moving pieces, but whew, in the end, I will give him credit. And it's rare that I will give him credit, just like it's rare, hardly ever, that I would give Exotic Youth credit. And I said this the other night, when they get in there, and in this case, I'm talking about Hunter James, when he gets in there and just does his thing and doesn't use these underhanded tactics and these shenanigans and can just go, they're incredible athletes. In this case, Hunter James, an incredible athlete. Surprising us all was Tristan Michaels, the guiding light, not being there, which usually he's the one that kind of comes in at the last minute and does something to move the match in Hunter's favor. But anyways, Hunter James able to come away with the victory here. But man, it was close numerous times that we could have had a new champion here. And you guys, your thoughts on this fatal four-way?
Well, I said before, either one, Kyle or Rob, either one, I would have been completely happy with. Did not want the Wall to win. Nothing against the Wall. I think he's cool. Whatever. He's
But it's
an action
action
guy, but
action wrestling.
no, don't want that.
I said the other night, could you imagine we would never hear the end of it from Matt Griffin if the
Never.
Wall took that title to action wrestling? Oh my gosh. We
That's
already hear enough from Matt Griffin as it is.
Right.
But how nice was it for him not to be there? Can I just say,
right.
I don't know how many times we'll get that, but it was so quiet and calm and nice. And
Imagine that.
yeah. But yeah, like you said, God knows. Hunter is an amazing athlete. He is. He can wrestle. He can do his thing. He does some amazing moves. I don't know all the names of these moves, but that backflip thing that goes into the whatever it is, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that move.
I
It's one of
call
my
it-
favorites.
I call it the phenomenal inverted DDT because it's
I
very much
love that.
shades of another Georgia boy who is
Yes.
phenomenal. And
Indeed.
yeah.
Well,
Got a lot of style.
he's from North Carolina, so I wouldn't call him. We don't claim him.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
And I know it's funny because nobody knows if he's from Hollywood, if he's claiming Hollywood, California, or Hollywood, Florida. I don't know.
That's funny.
But either way,
That's really
Outer Banks,
funny.
North Carolina. But
wow.
I mean, I'm a fan of the ability. I'm not a fan of him defacing the title at all. I even tried to scratch that thing off. Dang, it was on there good. But whatever. He came away with the title. He's still the legacy champion. The Jake the Snake legacy champion. So I guess we have to endure for one more month at least.
For sure. I will say this much. My big takeaway, there were two takeaways. Number one, Hunter James really can wrestle.
He can.
He really can. And he picked his spot. And that's what you have to do in a multi-man match. It's not necessarily about, out wrestling people. It's really being in the right place at the right time. But my second takeaway is I need Rob Killjoy and Kyle Matthews as a tag team.
Yeah.
They did some work together, and I was like, oh, you guys are teaming up and getting rid of the Wall and getting rid of Hunter so you can fight together. We need that tag team. Sign them up, put them up against the grapplers, and let them cook, because I think they could take out 3, 4, 5 of the grapplers and come out of here as tag team champions. I'm here for it. I think I just gave her another match. So yeah, I'm here for it. Rob Killjoy, Kyle Matthews, you guys have great chemistry. And I think you guys could really do something very, very special in the tag team division. So that was it. Great match for sure. But those two, yeah, somebody make that happen.
The way it ended too, if you recall, Killjoy taking the frog splash from Matthews and then Hunter hitting the brain buster on Matthews onto Killjoy to win the match. I mean, what a crazy ending. Anyways.
Well, that is kind of an advantage for a 4-way match. I mean, you can let somebody else beat the crap out of somebody and then take advantage of it, and you won't even have to work that hard. You just got to be smart.
You got to be smart. And here's
you just got to be smart.
And we were saying during the match, when it's a title match like that, the champion is at the disadvantage because he does not have to be the one to get pinned or submitted. And in this case, but you're right, Hunter James, again, don't give him a lot of credit often, but he was smart in this matchup and wrestled a heck of a match and came away the victor.
He did work. He did. He did
sure
work.
did.
I'll give him props. He did.
That takes us in to our main event, the Southern Honor Championship. Gunnar Miller, after just over a year at this point, a little more than just over a year, 392 days, I believe it was.
That's correct.
Since losing that very title to Judias, when Todd Sexton came in as the surprise guest official after the previous two refs had been taken out. And we saw the formation of the end game that night. And that's when Gunnar got screwed out of the title. And it had been that long since Gunnar had a one-on-one rematch for the Southern Honor title. So he finally got it. And the question on our minds was, will Judias be alone, or will he be flanked by all the members of the end game, which is usually the case? Well, it started out one-on-one. Then the refs started dropping one by one.
Fast.
Paul Santa, by the way, I just, wrong place, wrong time. And if you recall, the very same thing happened when these two guys fought over a year ago.
Yeah. Was it
same
Paul
thing.
that got hit
Paul
that
Santa
time
got pancaked in the corner that time. And then I don't know what was going on backstage, what the holdup was. Thankfully, eventually Diana finally got back there and found Prater, who our junior official, to come out. But Gunnar, he was irate. He's yelling at us. We're calling for, if anybody can hear the sound of our voice in the back, send out another referee, because there were multiple times that Gunnar Miller had that match won, but there was no ref to make the 3 count.
I feel like I need to keep a ref shirt under the table just in case.
GB said the same thing. He said, if I had a ref shirt, I'd just jump in there myself. But of course, it didn't work out that way.
I'm not an official ref or anything. I've never even, I can hit the mat. I can count 3.
But
that was ridiculous.
Prater eventually comes out. And then for some reason, as Gunnar is going to work on Judias in the corner, Prater kind of separates it.
Why?
And then as Gunnar charges in for a stinger splash, Prater is right in the way and gets caught in the crossfire. And I'm like, get
Why
out
would
of the
you
way.
get between 2 bulls going at it? Why would you do that?
I don't know. And so then he's taken out. And then we see the chaos ensue. And then Todd Sexton makes his way out. Much like what happened over a year ago. This time he takes the referee shirt off of the prone body of Paul Santa laid out in front of us on the floor.
Peeled it off.
Puts it on. And I'm even saying to GB at this time, this will not be legit. This guy is no longer an official here in SHW ever since what he did the last time these two fought. But he tried to make the 3 count. But before he could even make the 3 count, we hear the music of Diana. Take it from here.
The bad boy, Chip Day.
Man, oh man.
I don't know if y'all saw me, but I was losing my mind on that one.
I bet you were.
I would have never guessed it.
I was excited. I had missed him. It's been a minute. He came out and did his thing, y'all. Oh, I know y'all want to say some things. Ooh, go ahead.
Go ahead, please.
Take it.
Dude, he put the beat down on Judias, man. He wants the title. I'm excited. I'm excited. I know we got an announcement for the next. Oh, God Almighty, I'm excited. I'm excited about this. I'm excited. Okay, he was a wonderful Jake State Legacy champion. He was, and perfect. But for him to be Southern Honor champion, I don't know if I can handle it. Handle it.
So here's the thing. Diana just fast forwarded right to the very end, which is great.
Excited. I'm sorry.
It was awesome. It was awesome. But GB, let's kind of talk about what happened after Chip came out, and then we got almost like a preview of the Rumble Jack. Like the locker room just let out. It was crazy.
Absolutely. It went crazy. I mean, Chip went nuts on Judias, and then the rest of the end game came out, and then the hierarchy, and then the grapplers, and then it was just pandemonium.
Yeah.
And it felt like we were in a time warp, moving already to the future with the Rumble Jack. It was crazy.
Chip did a brain buster on Judias. How you get him up?
It's awesome. It was awesome.
One of the most awesome feats of strength we've seen in SHW.
That's why he's a bad boy.
It reminded us, and this was interesting because suddenly the question was, okay, where does Gunnar Miller fall in all of this? You
Yeah.
know, what were the intentions of Chip Day, which we really didn't fully understand until he got his hands on the belt and lifted the belt, and we said, oh,
Yeah.
okay. We weren't clear if he was going to try to enter the Rumble Jack, if he was what was happening, but it became clear Chip Day has his eyes on the SHW championship, and that does not bode well for Judas.
Well, and
I think a lot of the, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so then Paul Santa finally comes to, after all this chaos has gone down,
Mm.
finally tells Diana it's a no contest. The match is thrown out. So we finally get an official word, because the whole time
Yeah.
GB and I are like, the match, we're still in the middle of the main event. What's happening here? We
Yes.
still have no referee. So it ended up being a no contest. Now, to your point, GB, yes, Chip Day hit that brain buster. He showed Hunter James how to do it for real.
Mhm.
Then he picks up the belt. He's clearly got his eyes on the prize. But by the time he got back to the stage and Gunnar got to the stage, Chip Day was yelling at him, "This wasn't about you."
Right.
Because if you recall, the end game
That part.
took Chip Day out of action prior to the Rumble Jack before the last
War
show.
Chamber. Yes.
Or
War
yeah,
Chamber.
what did I say?
Mhm.
Rumble Jack. Yeah, War Chamber.
Yes.
One of those big matches.
Yes.
Yes, took him out before the War Chamber and prevented him from being in that match. And so
Right.
he's coming in, get a little vengeance on the end game, but kind of at the expense of Gunnar Miller and his main event match.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of hard to tell, like, is there beef there between Gunnar and Chip? Was Chip solely going after the end game? And then we send it backstage. So if you were there live, you didn't see this, be sure to watch it on IWTV.
Mhm.
But we send it backstage to Cheyenne Michaels, by the way, the newest member to our broadcast team.
Absolutely.
Give
We
me a
love
ball
to
So
see it.
Cheyenne Michaels, welcome. She's
Awesome.
backstage, catches a word with Chip Day. While she's catching a word with Chip Day, Gunnar Miller enters, interrupts. Chip's trying to explain it wasn't about you, just
Right,
going after
right.
Judas is what it is. And then Gunnar says, well, you go and do your thing. You win the Rumble Jack. I'll see you at Still Here. Meaning Gunnar thinks he'll have the title by Still Here. And then I realize, oh, Gunnar is now calling out Judas for a match at the Rumble Jack. And not just any match, but a last man standing match on August 9th for the Southern Honor Championship. So if Gunnar can win the title there, and if Chip Day can win the Rumble Jack, those two will clash at Still Here 6. And what a match that could be.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
That would be amazing. However, Judas, everybody's had a hard time getting that title away from him.
Mhm.
So will he? I don't know.
He's
will
had
Gunnar
a lot
do
of
it?
help. He's had a lot of help keeping it.
And in a last man
no,
standing environment, it's no DQ. So it
Mhm.
really won't matter. All the in-game can show up, and there's no disqualification. The
Right.
refs can't do anything at that point.
He's
Right.
been beat in a last man standing match before.
Well, there's that.
That's true. That
I mean,
is true.
mind you, it was Cyrus and there was a casket involved, but still.
Mhm.
Have y'all seen the crazy in Chip's eyes when he gets on the roll? I'm all for it.
Or Gunnar in this
Or
case.
Gunnar.
Yeah.
This
Or
is
Gunnar.
going to be wild.
I'm sorry. I've got a mentality of Chip being.
I
Chip.
heard you say Chip,
Oh,
and I went, I know
see.
where
Yeah.
I know where her brain's
I know
at.
where she is.
I have-
That's still here.
Am
Yeah.
I
She's
seeing in the
hoping.
future? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. Okay. Go ahead.
I love it. I love it. I will say this as a voice of reason here. I remember back, and it's funny this is happening because as I was prepping for the last show, I was thinking, wait, I thought Gunnar had another shot, but then I was reminded of Rumble Jack, I believe it was 2022, where Gunnar Miller was put in at number 1 in the Rumble Jack, won the Rumble Jack, but then was forced to get his title shot that night.
Yeah.
Thanks to Brooklyn.
Thanks to Brooklyn. The difference here is Gunnar Miller would not have gone through 30 men coming into this match. He will be fresh as a daisy in this match, a last man standing match. This is going to be interesting because given the chaos that happened just last week, you wonder, does Gunnar Miller have an answer to the end game. You got to know that they're likely going to show up. And quite frankly, these kinds of non-traditional environments tend to favor the champion, which, by the way, today is day number 399.
It's day
for
number
our
too long.
champion,
That's what
which
it is.
means tomorrow will be day number 400 of
Yes.
Judias as the Southern Honor Champ. We are in new territory, and so this is going to get interesting, and we'll get into some stats about the Rumble Jack and all of its events later down the road, but this is something you don't want to miss, guys. August the 8th, is that the date? The 9th? What's the date?
9th?
August the 9th?
Yeah.
Guys, just whatever plans you had for that date,
You got plenty of time to
put
make plans
them
for your guests.
around. Yeah, turn them around for Rumble Jack, because Rumble Jack is going to really lead us on the road, of course, to still here, and who knows what's going to happen. But you've got to think the championship is in absolute jeopardy. And if Gunnar is not having to deal with disqualifications or count out, and neither is Judias, something's got to give. Somebody is going to win that match.
Look, Gunnar even mentioned every time he gets a title shot, or every time it gets down to him being the champion, that he always gets screwed out of it. Okay. Something always happens, whether it be Todd, Brooklyn, whatever happened. I can't say Chip screwed him out. I'm just going to say the events happened and the end game caused it because they took out Chip, and Chip had to get some revenge.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I've never seen Gunnar as angry as he was a week ago.
Sure.
And
this could be it. Without even talking about his focus, this is a whole nother level of Gunnar.
I mean,
it's a whole nother portal.
He already had the fire lit under him.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he was looking directly at us when he was yelling at us to get that. And you could and you sensed it, GB too. I mean, we're sitting right next to each other. The look in his eyes, I've never seen that man that angry and
That's
wanting something and wanting something that badly. So knowing that and knowing how he's called Judias, by the way, anybody in their right mind, most people, I shouldn't say anybody, most people in their right mind would never call out a guy like Judias in a regular match, much less a last man standing match.
That's serious.
But somebody like Gunnar Miller, the former champion, the people's captain, the fire in his eyes, that look, that anger, he's reached that point. He will do anything, whatever it takes to get that title back. And we're going to see it August 9th in a last man standing match. And I cannot wait. And that's on top of the night where we have our biggest match of the year, the Rumble Jack, when anything can happen, the most unpredictable night. So it's going to be an incredible show. And like GB said, like Diana's been saying, like we've all said, make a point to be there August 9th. If you have plans, change them and change
Look
them.
right here.
There you go.
You make plans to be there. You don't want to miss it.
You hear it right there. So
Diana has spoken.
There you go. Make your plans. We can't wait to see it. Yeah. We will be back though on this podcast. Now it is summertime. Kids are out of school, so we may miss a week or here and there for vacations or whatever. But stick with us throughout the next couple of months. Stick with our social media. Follow Southern Honor.
Stuff, right?
Yeah. You'll see videos. We'll probably see videos of other announcements of entrance into the Rumble Jack. So just stick to the socials. Follow Southern Honor. Follow SHW Pod, and keep track of what's going on and get prepared. Go ahead and watch IWTV. Check out last week's show if you hadn't seen it yet, and get ready for August 9th. We've got a lot of time to build before then, but it's going to be amazing, and we can't wait to see it. But till we talk to you again right here on the podcast.
Wait.
We're not done yet. Hold up. Wait a minute.
While you are out here in these summer streets, go over to prowrestlingtees.com/SHW pod and grab some merch from your favorite podcast.
There you go.
You like us. You love us. You'll probably want to get this stuff now. You want some more of us. You absolutely do. I told you guys at the top of the show, these three faces you see before you are doing some significant things. So, yeah, you might want to get this merch now. Head over there now. ProWrestlingTees.com/SHW pod. We have 2 different shirts you can grab. So go grab
and
both
like 3
of
different
them.
colors.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah.
Yes. Grab them now. Support your favorite podcast, the Southern Honor Wrestling Podcast. Go ahead and check that out. ProWrestlingTees.com/SHW pod. And if you're not already on IWTV to check out our show, check it out at IWTV. And SHW is the promo code. If it's your first time, you can get your first 5 days for free. So definitely check it out. I think we have too many shows for you to watch in 5 days, but
I was
you'll
going to
get
say, it'd be
a
tough.
whole lot connected in there. So definitely check it out and let us know what you're thinking of all of the things that we've got for you on IWTV.
Absolutely.
And one more thing, shout out to all the fathers. Father's Day is this Sunday, so happy
Yes.
Father's
Yes.
Day to all you
Yes.
guys who are fathers or act
Absolutely.
like fathers. Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there.
We will see you next time right here. This has been
SHW, will we have Hennessy and cupcakes?
I can't end it any better than that. There it is.